So here we go. So here we have the King hearings, and I want to show you something here. He's bringing up the fact that CARE says build a wall of resistance, don't talk to the FBI. Now this was not about people who were being investigated by the FBI. This was telling Muslims in America who are under no suspicion, for example, they hear of a terrorist attack, that they are not allowed to talk to the FBI. I mean, what would happen if Lutherans were doing that? I mean, really? I mean, people would say, hey, we got a problem here. I mean, I don't mean to pick on Lutherans if anybody here is Lutheran. But the reason this is important is because of this. When CARE tells Muslims not to talk to the FBI, they're simply putting into effect Islamic law that they've already validated. And here it is. Remember Alliance of the Traveler? It is not permissible to give direction and the like to someone intending to perpetrate a sin according to Islamic law, Sharia. Because it is helping another to commit disobedience. Well, that's a pretty broad statement. What do you mean? Well, thank goodness, they had a whole list. Giving direction to wrongdoers includes 1, showing the way to policemen and tyrants. Tyrants because they are not governing according to Sharia. When they are going to commit injustice and corruption. I won't go into corruption in the land. This is one slide from a 10-slide brief to parse this out. But corruption in the land is what you have in the Quran when things are not being governed properly according to Islam. It is sometimes translated as tumult and oppression. So, they tell people not to talk to the FBI because Islamic law says they can't, and that's the mission statement of in the explanatory memorandum. And if you go to the Muslim Brotherhood's homepage, their charter says, Article 2, the Muslim Brotherhood is an international Muslim body which seeks to establish Allah's law in the land. How many people find this hard to follow? Because the reason I keep bringing this up is because I want you to understand that once you find the information, the analysis is limited to just taking the statements they made, assuming they meant what they said when it was absolutely clear, and running with it. And knowing that when someone by the way, read all of it, so that when they say, but you had to read the entire thing in context, because it's so complicated. Steve, don't you know that the world is so complex that all we can do is manage chaos? How many people have heard this? I'm telling you, this is not, I'm not making this up. It's the complexity theory argument. So I just want to point out here that we can circle the wagons. And I think it's important for you to know it really is as simple. The analysis is as simple as laying up the data that they put in English for you to see. And assuming that what they said is what they meant. Oh, and the other part of it would be to interpret what they mean according to their lexicon. So if they define peace one way and you define peace another, and it's a Muslim Brotherhood entity, define peace according to their rule. If they define racism one way and you define racism another, force yourself to define racism according to how they do it, but understand that definition of racism is not the Western definition of racism. So with that, I think we'll end. I would go into disappearing language, but I think we're good where we're at right now. And I would like to thank you. We're going to open up to questions.